We're live, by the way.
I'm over here digging around on my.
She is. She's here trying to show me that, you know, her extra hobby is buying yarn. And she keeps asking me if I've seen this or that or this or that. And I'm like, no, because that's not my hobby. This is your hobby.
They do all these little radiant things, packages. Here, see, like this is theirs, just to show stuff. And I just think those are really neat. I'm into those radiants that go up or down. Whatever.
Like I did the last orgasm one I did in the green and pink.
Exactly.
Where I faded on both the opposite direction.
I love that. See, so I thought maybe I would start doing that. So it's Sunday, May what? 18. I got my watch. Why didn't I even look? 18.
Yeah, 18.
Carrie, hello. How are you?
Hey.
Anyway, May 18th in Indianapolis, Scienceville. Flock around the table. I forgot what I was doing.
Episode 200 and something. I don't know, 17.
I think it is. We lose count. I don't take notes anymore.
Way too many.
Because I don't take notes. I never go back and look at them. And I thought.
She did. She took notes for the first 200 episodes or more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you taking notes? Like, we never look at these notes. And she's like, well, I just take notes.
So, 2 great notebooks.
Full of notes.
But I've never gone back page after page after page.
No, it would be nice if you would, on your notes, go back in and put show notes in. But you don't.
Yeah. I can't even find me. So.
And I don't do it. I used to.
Facebook or any of this, unless I get an email that says you've been mentioned or you haven't seen this or so and so said this about you, and I'm like, what do you mean they said that about me? Click, click. And then I get all these other notices because a lot of them are just so many advertisements anymore and you can't figure out what they're supposed to do. So I don't know. Anyway, that's how my life has been of late.
I got one more decrease in this last week on my silly Santa hat. And
I didn't.
She, of course, got a lot more done on her silly Santa hat than I did.
It's not going to be 5 foot, though, I don't think. But we'll see.
No, I don't think so. And you're not quite to the point where you could knit on it while you have it on your head.
No, because that is my goal. I do really want to do it, guys. As we discussed, and Carrie, it's been a while, so you probably don't know that this is my silly Santa hat. I started it a while ago. And my goal is to be able to sit when I'm out traveling and do this. Just sit and knit on a scarf as you go on. Because when I used to
almost to that point for her.
Yeah, when I used to work on that hat that we shall not mention anymore.
Right.
Look at this hair. It's falling. I used to stick my yarn in the center.
Right.
People would be on the bus watching me, and here I am knitting away. And
we should call it the Voldemort hat.
The what, huh?
Voldemort hat.
Voldemort?
Yeah, because in Harry Potter you don't say the word Voldemort, but we can say it when we're referencing that hat.
Hat. And if you don't know what that is,
but
that hat we don't discuss anymore. So it's Voldemort.
Voldemort, yeah.
That word. No, never mind. I'll remember.
You won't remember it. Even Harry Potter town, you won't.
But you know, I almost.
She's not a Harry Potter fan, and my daughter is one of the biggest Harry Potter fans. Except maybe Carly. Carly's
really big. And I went to the Harry Potter store in London for her. They actually have a train set up there, the whole sort of situation. And they have characters that they take pictures with and everything. And I didn't know that. So I just found the store thinking I would get something that said.
Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's 4 different houses. Which one do I get? I don't know.
And I only remember Hufflepuff. Only because the Hufflepuff, it just sounds cute. But she's a Gryffindor. Yeah. And then I realized that there's one with a claw.
Ravenclaw.
That's it. And I like ravens, so I thought I have to check that out.
And Slytherin.
Oh, Slytherin, isn't that snake?
Yeah.
I wonder why I don't like this stuff, because I like all that funny.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it either. It's been bugging me ever since I've known you. Like, she's the biggest freaking Star Wars fan you could possibly imagine. And she's never watched Harry Potter.
Oh my God. And Andor's out. Excuse me, guys. going to, yeah, there you go.
And what's so funny is there has been analogies between the two, Star Wars and
totally.
Hogwarts, that they're exactly the same thing.
But different genres. I mean, just different. One's a castle, one's a planet. One's, you know, just zapping around on their broomstick, and the other one's flying around on a speeder. It's basically
and his best friend and the girl.
Exactly. Leia and, you know, and his brother.
And Hermione.
See, so I don't
understand why she hasn't. You should watch them.
Should. They were on the plane when we came home, and I almost watched them. But then I decided, okay, I'm going to watch Wicked because everybody said it was so good. They had it on the trip on the boat like 3 different times on the big screen, right thing. And I just didn't go up and do it because 1, it was past my bedtime. 2, I don't know what I was doing, something else.
You wouldn't have remembered it anyway if you watched it. So
no. Yeah. And the one night it was out, it was chilly, and I just didn't want to go up there and do anyhow. So I didn't, but I watched it on a plane.
Wicked.
Yeah. It was because I was sitting there with nothing else to do. I probably would have been better off rewatching the Harry Potter. Which one did you make me watch? The first one?
We watched the very first one.
Okay.
And we didn't really watch it.
No, we didn't.
We were
sitting and chatting and knitting, so we didn't really watch it. And they had them all on the thing, like all of them. And I thought, well, then I kind of looked at it and went, I can only watch 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most. So probably not worth even starting it. Okay, I'll go watch Wicked. And then I watched, I don't remember what else I watched. But then, of course, I had to watch Top Gun Maverick because it's one of my favorites, because it's sort of become like the replacement for Star Wars. Because I just look up and I see what I like to watch. Then I go back to my knitting. Then I sit up and watch. Because next week, the new movie comes out. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. Now, I don't care for, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, as a rule. Okay, I don't see a lot of his movies. But I really like his Mission Impossible series. The early ones, not too much. 1, 2, and 3, not too much. But when he starts with this Rogue Nation, when they're going after the syndicate, which is like maybe 4 or 5, somewhere in that vicinity, excellent acting, excellent narration. It doesn't drone on too much, and you really get a cool thing because the syndicate starts someplace else, and they throw him out, and then they bring him back, and then whatever. And then they do Fallout, where they want to blow up, because he does get married at some point in one of them, but then he can't stay with her because she gets hurt. And then he has to go back and find her. And so then they divorce, and he watches out from afar from her. And then this Dead Reckoning was good, but it kind of dragged on. But the final Reckoning is supposed to be amazing. It's gotten great reviews. And so that comes out next week. So I'm going to watch I'm actually thinking I'm going to go Thursday because they're having a preview on Thursday. So I may get tickets on Thursday. Mikey says he doesn't want to go. And I said, okay, fine, I'll go by myself. Okay.
Actually, I can't really think of many Tom Cruise movies that I don't like.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't care for him as Jack Reacher.
Oh, I really liked him as Jack Reacher.
He's too short.
Well, but you need to just get past that and get past the freaking book things and just enjoy the movie for the movie. I just think that he's a kooky as a fruitcake as a person. Like in reality, I think he's like.
I think so. I agree with you.
In the real world, I think he's.
Do you ever watch
what do you think of Tom Cruise in real life?
Like, I mean, come on. Where do you put him? Where do you rank him in the middle of the thing? I mean, kind of.
Yeah, like, 1 to 10 from
I wouldn't make him like. He's not unattractive.
No, I think he's a very good-looking person. But I think
for 60, but he's like.
I think he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, me too.
But
that's
beside the point when it comes to acting and movies and whatnot.
That are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, there are. I like Tom Cruise is one of those where it's just like all the way from when he was a teenager. Like what was the one where he slid in? What was the
Risky Business?
Risky Business.
And his underwear.
Yeah, sliding in. I mean, like that's so iconic. And then Like Interview with a Vampire, fantastic movie.
I didn't watch that.
Oh, it's so good. You know, and those are like when he's really, really young. And then you have all of those, The Outsiders, and like where he's getting a little bit older, you know, in the first Top Gun.
His first Top Gun, he was very, very cocky.
Yeah, but he was, but he needed to be because he was a fucking pilot. Excuse my language.
But to me, that was Tom Cruise incarnate then anyway, because he really was
a cocky individual.
He's a very cocky. And when he got back into the industry, from what I understand, he was actually a producer and paid for a lot of his own movies because nobody wanted to work with him.
Well, and it was shortly after that where he got involved with Scientology.
Yeah, and all that other crazy.
Then he went for Cocoa Puffs.
But
whatever.
You know, and I'm
married 3 times, divorced 3 times.
Well, it has something to do, and again, it has a lot to do with because of the Scientology. At certain points, they become certain. And I know Nicole Kidman didn't embrace it, and Katie didn't.
Probably Katie didn't either.
And whoever his first one was, or whatever, you know, and one of the things I have to remember that did turn me off about him is when he met Katie Holmes. And he was engaged to her or dating her or whatever. And he jumped all over the couch.
Jumping on the couch with Oprah?
With Oprah. I'm so sorry. And then he berated Brooke Shields for her postpartum depression or something. I'm like, get over yourself, buddy. Let's put you through the whole pregnancy thing and see if you like it. He doesn't even have a prostate exam. Let's squeeze your ass. You know, I used to think when I had my boobs squeezed this week. Let's go back into the boob. Mammogram time.
Yeah, I need to go do that.
Oh, I used to think it was awful when I had boobs because they were round and they had to kind of, and they were always pulling you forward to get all the tissue in. Well, now they're at my waist. They don't fit on the platform anymore. They're too long.
They're hanging over the other side.
They're going past the scan part because they're long. And I was like, holy crap. And the girl goes, oh, no. And I'm standing there, like I said, I had no idea they were that long. I mean, I'm almost in tears. And this girl's going, oh, these are nothing. You have nice little, you know. And I'm thinking, she says,
she has the best bedside manners ever.
She deserves this, you know. And I'm going to write an
Oscar.
IU, because it's like, this girl deserves a total raise. Thank you.
And an Oscar standing ovation.
And I didn't bring any of them with, but she did have shorter hair. So I don't think she could, you know, I may have to make her a hat and go, I don't know which one it was, but she was younger with short hair. And if she's still here, here's her hat. Because she was just so cool. And she made me feel very comfortable and relaxed, even though, I mean, every time she kind of, when they were heavier, they would just kind of, you know,
pop on there.
Yeah. And then they kind of squish it to hope to get everything in. Well, this time she had to literally pull them out and you know, take her hand and go. I'm thinking this poor kid's got to feel all these boobs all day. And then the thing is, because of the way they were made, is they put that little sticker on your nipple, right? Well, that thing kept going and she wanted it up and it wouldn't come up. So then she had to change the tray. I felt so bad for her. And here, I mean, normally I feel bad for myself, but I felt bad for her. Yeah. I just really did. And so she was so nice. And I thought, oh my God, I didn't even wait. I just kind of scurried out of there when I got dressed.
Yeah.
Don't you guys hate it? Guys have a blood test. Wait, they have a blood test.
We need to have
prostate cancer. Why? I get it because of the hormones and everything. I understand the whole situation, but come on, you know, how do you do it in South Carolina? Come on, you know, I mean, it's the same situation all over. Yeah, it's like a mini CAT scanner too, because they all do digital now. They don't even do the old X-ray one where they take the things out, put the thing, you know, the X-ray. Everything's all digital now. It's like a mini little CAT scanner because it kind of goes ding, 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 like. And I thought, well, at least it, you know, it didn't go up 80 feet. It went down so they could get the next big one in. So, okay. Yeah, pretty soon it's the other end. I have to go in. So, you know, that's what I told my friend. I said,
if it's not one thing, it's another.
I know. At first, my boobs were in my waist. They were down here near my waist. So I thought that's bad enough. But now the is down near my knees. So what do? It's crawling down. I hate gravity. It's just not fair. I'm gonna have to get one of those pregnancy belts just to hold the damn thing
Oh my
up.
God.
Oh, don't like the man. Nobody likes them.
Nobody likes them. Nobody
Like
likes them.
guys, if you have to squeeze their balls, believe me, they come up. That's why they came.
That's why they came up with just
their things. But anyway, I digress. So
let's talk about Brenda and Heather.
Yes.
Let's talk about Brenda and Heather, Ball Yarns, if you guys don't know, and they will be at
Hoosier
Hills.
In Franklin, Indiana. It's every year the first weekend in June. And they used to be in southern Indiana, and now they're up in Lafayette. So they're still very
Brenda and
active
Heather are in Lafayette.
Yeah, not
Hoosier Hills is in
Franklin.
In Franklin, Indiana.
Frankfurt, which is on the north side, and Franklin,
which
is on the south side. And they really screw with your heads. Let me tell you.
Okay.
It's at the fairgrounds out there, and it's
a nice event.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, we go
on Saturday.
Yeah, her and I go on Saturday. So if you guys are going, we're gonna be there on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be
wandering around.
And what they are going to do this year is they're doing a peony archway.
Yeah.
I guess they've done it in the past because they said they're reviving. I never remember seeing it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just like this, and they put green.
They put an archway up with tulle around it. And then because the Indiana state flower is the peony. No, this one is done.
This one is growing.
That one's growing. So it's when she told me they were bringing it back. She sent me a thing, and there's a link to a peony crochet. Well, they have a link. They have a pattern for a knit or a crochet one. The crochet one just happened to be a YouTube video because it's pretty simple. But this is the finished project, which I have stitched all together. This is what it looks like before you stitch it all together. It's just a chain of double crochets and then puff stitches on every single one. So, and then you just coil it all up and it ends up looking like this. This is what I did at work.
And if you
when I was bored.
If you haven't,
I said, "Oh, I happen to have hot pink yarn with me."
Yeah, she
at
did.
work, so I can do one or two while I'm here.
They put out new colors, some new socks. Stranger Things Club.
Stranger Things
is that? And I didn't know anything about that, so I thought
it's a series that another thing where it's new and she doesn't know anything.
And I don't know anything about it. So anyway, then
so then you coil it like this up, and then you just go into the backside and stitch everything up together.
Here
pretty simple to do.
Kind of a picture. See, the girls are standing there at the archway.
Yeah.
And since the state flower, they said they're reviving it, and it says click here to learn more. Back again for 25, the peony archway. I don't know when it was first there, but that's all right, Heather. That's all right. You don't want to share that kind of information with us. That's fine. We don't care. We'll be there. Anyway, it's a state flower.
So she said she's going to do some of the leaves.
I'm going to do some leaves for her flowers.
This little flower I made with bamboo pop.
Nice.
Regular bamboo pop.
Nice.
So they're super soft. I did it with size 4 for a G crochet hook.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and I think they turned out pretty good.
They turned out really, really nice. So go on there, especially if you're
going to go. It just happened to be what I had with me at the time when I did it, and I'm like, we'll see how that works.
And we'll take some flowers. She can put it on Instagram because I don't. Yeah. So we'll take some pictures of us in the thing, but they have it, and they do. Like I said, they do have this new Stranger
Things category.
And I would order it, guys, but I don't know anything about it, so I thought.
Well, order if you like the color. It doesn't matter.
Yes, and the one I really like, and I wasn't sure about that, but I ordered yarn from a couple other places because Simply Sock had Madeline Tosh, and it's their rainbow, and it had neon in it, and you know how I am about neon. But for any people who haven't heard us or are new to us and haven't heard us talk about Brenda and Heather, these two ladies are the most amazing striped dyers in the industry. I don't know where their brain goes. How do they get it? Why?
They're amazing. Phenomenal. It's Bah Yarns, BAH.
BNBAH. With Brenda and Heather Yarns. Yeah. And it's so cool. You should go on there. And they have great sites. What I like, though, I've done 3 of their yarn ball shawls. and they work out wonderful.
Yeah.
They really do. And they come big, and they're meant for just a nice,
big
simple
shawl.
yarn thing, and it stripes up beautifully. It just goes, it's a perfect thing to work on.
I think I did a hoagie pattern
I did
with
one of her,
a fade
I think I remember
shawl ball thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I did order
they do stripes like no other.
Nobody else.
They will do a fade inside of a stripe that just blows my mind.
And then they do a fade. They do a color. They fade it. They put a stripe in the center of it.
Yeah,
and it just matches up perfectly. And you're like, how the fuck do you guys do this? Never mind. I shouldn't use the F word. And you don't have to give away your secrets, Heather. But I do know that you have.
They have actually said that they don't understand why dyers are secretive or anything, because if anybody asks them, they'll just tell them.
They're really good.
They're very, very nice.
They've been doing it that way. Even when they were in Greenwood and stuff. And I found 2 new places to kind of get some calculating done with yarn and things. There is a yarn site called Yarn Sub, YARN-SUB, and it's a massive database about yarn. And when you can substitute, if you can't find or don't have any more, say, of
you don't have DK.
Your DMC like I had for my hat, which I finished, guys. This is DMC in acrylic, and oh my God, I only need another. So you can go on this database, type in what the yarn is, and they'll give you a whole list of what they think is what could be comparable, as well as give you good definition as to how much yarn you need for some of this stuff.
Well, that's cool.
And that was the other one that I found was Knit Grammar, because I got it, KNIT Grammar, and it's a calculator for patterns, so that if you want to take a pattern, say, and it calls for X amount of DK, but you want to use, say, a worsted, and you don't necessarily really want to use that big 8 or 9 needles, say that they are saying with you want to use this pattern because this one really works well.
It rewrites the pattern for you.
It sort of gives you an idea of how much yarn you could use and what to expect with it and which way to go. Don't go with this style because this is a heavier weight. Go with this style. So you should guys check them out. And they have a great universal mitten pattern on there that's free. It's got an arched thing in the center here, which is very easy, very simple, and you should do it in a mitten because I like doing mittens.
You like doing mittens.
Yeah. And this week I was semi-productive, guys. Ta-da! I finished the brown hat. I was almost
there. I think that is
isn't that great?
One of the best fitting hats that I think you've made.
Yeah, I think so too. Really.
I do.
I have to admit, and I didn't gauge it. I
know it's acrylic. I get that it's acrylic.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's store-bought.
Isn't it? And this is DMC acrylic. I got it in Europe. I know that they carry it here in the States.
And the crazy thing is she has the littlest head known to man. And I have the biggest head, of anybody I know. And it fits me too.
Exactly. And I didn't gauge it or swatch it or anything. I just started it because I was going to do it on the bus.
Yeah.
Because I'd done the pink one, which I didn't bring because I'm in a delicate situation.
This is a great hat.
This is called Marled Beanie, MARLED Beanie. It's free on Ravelry. I'm not giving away anything. I do a knit one through the back loop, a purl one on most of my ribs because I just like the way it looks.
I do too. I really like.
Yeah, I really like the way this. You started it, and then I followed you.
I got it from somebody, and I was like, "Oh, this is really." And it may have come from Leah.
Could have been.
Leah might have said, "Oh, do it
this way. Try this.
Do it this way."
Because I do really like it pulls in, but yet it doesn't overly. Look how cute that is! Oh my God, I love it.
This is my crazy Scylla Santa hat.
That is going to be adorable.
Oh, something weird there.
I know, but this is so cute.
I need to, once this is done, I'm going to have to shrink it a little.
Well, that's okay.
But that's okay. This is 100% wool. I can shrink it.
Yeah, you can shrink it. Yeah.
It's a little big on me. But that's okay.
But it's not so bad. But yeah.
This
is great. And it's, and I'm not giving it because it's a pattern and you have to figure out the crown. It's free, but it's just knit 6 purl 3. And
I think it's just.
At first, when you first get to it, I have to admit it was a little bit, where am I? How am I seeing this? Because I got on the stripe, but I didn't even realize that it was doing this. But I found 3 new patterns that I'm going to do for
I just
next.
think it's great.
And one has a striped front rib, and the other one has the every other color. But I'm not sure the every other color with the knit one, purl one. I'd have to do, because I'm not real good about changing colors with a purl and then bringing it back. It might take me a while. So I might have to do the 2 and 2, which is okay. I don't mind it. It's just that I usually prefer this. So anyway, that's my new toy I'm going to start playing with, is I'm going to start doing colored ribs, because I just think they're kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe solid hats.
I have my gnome hat is a colored.
Yeah.
Is a colored rib.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
I think it'd be kind of fun to do.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah. So anyway, but I put these on little needles because I'm tired. I didn't want to work. I'm getting a real split when it comes to where my join is coming. You know, it's loosening when you're working with double points.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of doing some research this week about working with flexi flips and double points, how you can avoid some of that. One of the ladies said, if the count isn't a major thing, like if you're not doing a design, just move it over to every so many stitches. Just decide to move it over or go back, like here I did. And it wasn't on purpose. It's just that I had these on double points, and I always put my marker 2 in, just because then I can tighten it with it and then slip the marker. So I just sort of went over. So this is now the new start. It's really back here 2 stitches, but that's okay. If I write it down, then you would know. See, because you can tell where I started this row.
You can always move your marker back too.
Yeah, I can always move it back. So that's another option too.
Yeah.
But I was looking, and I've always researched the jogless join.
Yeah.
And
I can't get it.
Sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. Some people just say, well, just slip the stitch. Some people say, lift the leg. Some people say, go down a stitch and pull it up. And I'm like, this is getting to be crazy time. So
yeah, so I'm just
going to kind of go with it, you know, leave it.
Just let it be what it is.
Yeah, just if that's what it is, because that's what happens when you knit that way. So that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, I don't have too much other new stuff this week.
I don't really either. I have a nice little
infection going on.
I have a little tooth. I'm a little puffy over here.
She is.
Yeah, I had a filling come out.
It looks a little swollen.
It's very swollen.
You know, funny thing is, she had a filling come out. So did I. Yeah, but mine's not over there. Mine's down here.
Yeah.
Mine's down here.
So mine is the very back tooth, and whatever, it's infected. I go to the dentist tomorrow. So.
Well, we'll do X-rays. I wonder if it's impacted. Maybe did you get something's coming up, going out, going in?
No.
It's an actual tooth that's there.
It's an actual tooth that's there, and then a filling came out.
Sometimes I find back here, just yank the silly stuff.
Oh, the last ones I already have had the very back ones taken out. So this is the second to the back one.
Yeah.
But now it is my back tooth, right? Yeah. So if they can't pull that one, because then I wouldn't have anything to chew with.
Yeah, that's why she did it. She did this on mine back here too. She put that tooth in and put the implant in, put the thing on it, because she was like, you need that back there.
Yeah, otherwise you can't chew.
All along and losing weight and stuff, my mouth has filled in. And so now every once in a while, I'm just kind of eating away.
And she chews on her tongue.
Oh my God, it hurts. So, so it's just life. But other than that, we're just getting ready for the 500 here in the state.
Yeah, whatever.
Everything is black and white stripes.
Checkers, not stripes.
Oh yeah, checkers. Sorry, not stripes. I forgot. And I'm kind of hoping that they don't sell out on that shirt, even though I told Mikey but it's not on the front side. There's this really cool shirt at the Indianapolis airport, and I'm not flying anytime for a while. It's one that says "Kiss My Bricks," and it's that tongue. Nah.
Why don't you just go on to online and type in "Kiss My Bricks," and I'm sure you could just order it and get it.
I haven't done that, but I'll check that out, because I just think. But my favorite one though was the one, "Drive fast, turn left."
Yeah,
because it's also tie-dye, and I thought, is that not perfect for the 500? And then it's got the Speedway logo on it and everything. And I think that's so cool. I guess I could go out to the Speedway store and see, but I don't get over in that direction very often.
No, but you get online all the time. I'm sure you could find it there.
I know, but then I get in a bad rut because I go the other way, and then I turn this, and like this week I was looking, my thing was trying to find how to avoid the ladder situation. So I was doing all these YouTube things and everything. And then with the Brenda and Heather thing came out, I got on YouTube, and of course they had 8,000 of these little, so you click on them going, oh, that doesn't sound bad. And then you click on this one, that's not bad. And then something else pops up, like a recipe or visit somewhere.
She's the reason why algorithms are created. I'm not shitting you. Like, she can't get out of a black hole. If her life depended on it, she will be in there for 5 hours straight.
I'm going to start.
What are you doing? You need to set a timer.
I know my mom used to do that. When she was on it, she had an old alarm clock, an actual
I think I'm bad. And I sit here and I listen to you and I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm not that bad.
Hours on there. And I don't
What happened in the last 3 hours? Yeah, I don't know. I was on YouTube.
It's like, get it. It goes faster when you're on the computer. Do you guys notice that? It's just that it just goes faster.
That's why it's called the black hole.
And you
lose everything.
Exactly. And in the morning, I always do. I play a couple of games. I do my emails. Then I do my Ravelry.
And I emailed you back almost right away on that one from Ba, and nothing.
Nothing. I'm just
because she's already done with her email for the day.
See, and I don't always get back on in the afternoon, which is bad because sometimes you get better things in the afternoon. But then I go to Ravelry, but then I'll
it's all just ads too, mind you. These are all just ads that she's getting notifications from. There's not people she's emailing. These are just bullshit ads. And she's like, oh, I got to click that link. And then the next email and click that link. And you wonder why you got so much crap on your computer and Mikey goes nutso because you're constantly clicking links.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do that. And I'm like,
it's so tempting because somebody said to click this link.
Even if I'm on a website, it's not so bad. On an email, not so much, because I always check the email address above. But some of them, like MailChimp, have you guys ever seen those MailChimp? They put all these extra little letters before it, like SJK 37204173362 Symphony at MailChimp. And by the time you get to that address, you can't see it. Then I think it's fraudulent because, Netflix says, oh, by the way, we're suspending your account. It's from JS273642 at nowhere does it say at Netflix, so it's kind of a bogus thing. Or I haven't driven it on a toll road, okay, and I don't know how long, but yet I owe a lot of money on the toll road according to the text messages I get. And I haven't been on a toll road forever, so I know it's not, because at first I was like scared it was Florida. I thought, holy shit, did I drive the wrong way? Then I got scared, but I didn't click on it. It went to Florida's site. I've learned that. I've learned not to click on it, except I did have an issue this week with Temu.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I didn't realize it's not on my order sheet, okay? I got a credit for this thing because it had the wrong address, wrong link thing. And when I got it, it was half opened. And I'm thinking, I think the person that this went to decided to send it to me or whatever. I don't know. It's not even on my order sheet, but I got charged for it, but it's nowhere on my orders. So I'm like, where did that go? And then I looked at all this other stuff and it didn't have anything else after. And I'm like, how did you get that? Because I ordered it on my phone and I was really surprised. We'll see if the little hand vacuum cleaner comes. It's a new project I wanted to start, so I got some hoops. So they were only $3. So I thought if I don't like it, then I don't really lose anything more. That's why I use Temu, because if I don't like it, then I don't have to deal with it. I can just buy it, on my way. And then when I was looking for yarn for my peonies, I found a box of little bags that my mom and I used to have. little wishlets things. So now I got to get rid of all of those.
Oh, question for all of
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, because she had said to me, I'm kind of thinking about doing the same thing with my yarn.
Yes.
And I said, we went through a few things, and I said, how about if we just do,
When I get a new skein,
then she has to get rid of a box.
I have to get rid of a skein. Well, not a box.
I think a box.
At least one skein of something else. I'm going to go downstairs, and one of the boxes that's kind of in the corner.
I think we need to make it more than one skein.
All right, 2 skeins.
Okay.
Okay. And then flip the box over and just put it in a bag so I can't analyze it.
Right.
When one comes in, I pick out 2, and I was just going to donate it. And then Sue said, maybe we should put it in a box.
Yeah, or a bag or something.
Something.
Like, we'll just make it a certain amount of weight. Like,
maybe
I don't know, a pound or
2
or 2 pounds, whatever. And
she can lift it on.
I can put it into Etsy for like maybe next to nothing and just pay for the shipping.
Just pay for the shipping or something like that. So that.
What do you guys think?
Because that's one way for me to downsize. One way for you guys to get something that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
If you're ordering or something, you may want to go ahead and say, yeah, go ahead. I'll pay for the shipping on that too. Because sometimes people only buy 2 or 3 little things and they're paying more in shipping than they are in anything else. So if they got the box, then they're getting a box along with it.
Mm-hmm.
That would work out. So we'll have to
think
about that.
Love to see.
Post it on Instagram or send her an email and fill in a.
Just leave a comment here and let us know if you think that's a good idea. I think it could.
I think we could do something like that. And then again, it's here. So if you needed a skein or our little group is over here knitting or something, if someone goes, gee, I was looking for this, something with orange and green in it. And I'm like, did you check the box?
And then I think, I was kind of thinking making a mystery, and then I'm like, no, I don't think we should do that. I think we would take photos and
what it is.
Yeah.
Because we do change over time. I know as I've gone through some of my patterns because I took the computer to Barcelona, and that was one of the things I did. And even with my embroidery designs, like 5 years ago, that was what I was into.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into that today.
Right.
And it's like,
well, even your knitting has changed. Like, now you're like super huge into neon, where when we first started doing this, you wanted purple. You just wanted purple.
Just wanted purple.
Yeah.
The variegated, the solids, with, without, make something else. So it really, we have trends. No longer, heavier shirts because I'm always cold. That sort of thing.
2 years ago, you were always hot.
I was always hot, so I never did. This was my winter coat.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. It's like.
But 2 years ago, you had more insulation on your body.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. The only problem I'm having right now with the insulation is my hip, because I sleep on my side, and I don't have any cushion there. So I'm going to start trying to sleep on a pillow, but the dog likes that pillow, so he keeps trying to take it away from me.
There's this thing called the internet where you can purchase another pillow.
You think so? You really want me to get back on the internet and go do a search on that on top of everything else? It's bad enough. I have to go
you're constantly shopping. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I don't go into Kohl's and shop as a rule. I don't go into grocery stores and shop. I'm not a Meijer shopper or a Walmart. Hobby Lobby, yes. When I'm in the neighborhood, I don't necessarily go unless it's something specific. Dollar Tree, I'll shop. And I love to shop when I'm on vacation.
Right.
I love going to malls and
you shop online.
And I shop online. I'm an Amazon kid.
I am too. I was making mashed potatoes for myself last night for dinner because
these sounded so good.
Okay, because I can't really chew much So at any rate, my husband had whatever, and I said, well, I'm going to make some mashed potatoes for myself. Okay. So couple of potatoes cubed up, put them on the stove, boiled them down, whatever. And then I realized it's been forever since I've made mashed potatoes, for one. 2, I don't have a freaking potato masher anymore. I threw the one that I had, I hated because it wasn't, It wasn't good. So I just threw it away, or I gave it to the Goodwill, I think.
Whatever.
And I'm like, holy shit, I don't have a freaking potato masher. Are you kidding me? So here I'm mashing it with the meat mincer, right? You know, the thing that we all had to get, you know, when TikTok, you know, for your hamburger. So I mashed my potatoes with that because I did not want to break out my Cuisinart and or KitchenAid and do, you know, just for a couple of potatoes. So I did that. And then I'm like, oh, a little half and half, couple pats of butter. Now, mind you, this were 2 really big potatoes. So this was a substantial amount of mashed potatoes. I put a little bit of half and half, couple of pats of butter in there, and I stir that up. No, this is too dry. So then I go into my refrigerator. I'm like, what else dairy can I put in here? Like, I don't have any milk. I don't have any, you know, it's just half and half. And I'm like, I really didn't want any more half and half because that's just too sweet. Oh, I have this little dab of cream cheese. So I'll put that in. Okay, fine. And when I'm making this, all I'm thinking is my daughter, who she'll make something and she puts every kind of dairy product from the refrigerator into whatever it is that she's making. And because her roommates will be like, there's the Dairy Queen again. Oh, my daughter, the Dairy Queen, because it's cheese and it's milk and it's cream cheese and, you know, all this. And so I put cream cheese in. I'm thinking Tori would love this. And I mix that all together. It still seems a little bit dry. So I'm like, oh, some sour cream. Here's the Dairy Queen. I'll put some sour cream in there. So I put some sour cream in there, add a little garlic, a little salt and pepper.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So that's what I had for dinner.
Right? That's
what I had for. Yeah, it was like I got my calcium.
Yeah, you did. For sure.
Yeah, and my calories.
Yeah.
And my carbs.
Yeah. You got it all in one shot there, kiddo. I'm telling you. It was,
and I still have literally it was 2 potatoes, but I still have this huge amount left over.
Put some bacon bits in it, then you get a little bit of.
Oh, I can't do.
Bacon bits because you might
too crunchy
it there.
It's too hard to chew.
Be careful what gets stuck in there too. That's the bad thing, and that's how. Yeah, I hate that.
At any rate, I go to the doctor tomorrow. I go to the dentist tomorrow morning.
So next week when we're on, you'll be hearing Sue go. That's because every time you go, every time you go in, even with dental insurance, it's bad.
It's forever.
It's like I'm like,
I don't like going. So at any rate,
I agree. See, she gets something, and I get something. And we had the same tooth, but I did get it fixed because I had better dental insurance than you did. So
yeah, so I'm still rocking the hole right here.
Well, I talk different. I'm talking, so you can always see mine. So that makes a big difference. So just gonna be sitting at home.
Yeah, I'm just gonna knit, crochet.
Yeah, I've got some stuff that I want to get going, and I'm gonna be cleaning out. How's Etsy doing? Nothing new this week?
I had quite a few orders this week.
Good.
I think I have a sale running through today, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And I hope you all got on the yarn trunk. I mean, Tracy's yarn thing.
Oh my God, Tracy. Yeah, Tracy's rolling yarn truck.
See, because we
check her out on Instagram if you haven't. Tracy's rolling yarn truck. She opened a brick and mortar, and I'm just flabbergasted.
Oh, I know.
I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the way this shop looks. It is so good.
We were supposed to go back to Greenland this year, and that would be one of the stops. And because of Gail's health and things going on in the family and stuff, I'm gonna cancel it. But I'm thinking maybe I should go because I really would.
I want to just fly up there.
Oh,
I just want to fly up there just to go to the yarn shop.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to go to Tracy's shop because it's big and it looks
so
really
phenomenal
nice.
looking.
And the way she laid it out was really nice because sometimes they don't, but I really.
This is bright and wide open.
Yeah.
You can see everything.
She did a good job with it. Yeah. Really nice job.
So, and of course, she's the only international one that I shipped to.
Exactly.
So she has my stitch markers in both her truck and the brick and mortar.
Yeah, she sort of got hooked a little bit. And I did tell her when she started watching us, I said, if you don't like her, don't watch us.
Yeah, don't watch us.
Oh my God, you're right up my alley. Now Tracy's a really nice person, so don't go. Anyway,
no, she's great.
She really is.
Yeah.
She's really super. So I thought, oh, good. I mean, it's really fun. So
when she messaged me, she's like, "Hey, I'm just wondering if maybe you could send me this." And I was stalking your Instagram. Can you send me some of this, and this? I'm like, of course I'll send you some of that, and that.
Just
and then whatever else. She's like, and then whatever
that
else.
Got that tax thing really throws me off when it comes to ordering
and the
shipping across the
across the line.
Yeah.
Well, she's nice because she's like, in American dollars, in US dollars. She tells me in US because I would be like, I don't know.
Conversion rate and everything else,
And then I ship for free to her.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's nice for her. It's ridiculous the cost of shipping to Canada. I don't understand it. I can ship to South Africa cheaper than I can ship to Canada. It's stupid.
So shipping to California has gotten to be, or even just sending it within the state. I sent something up to the great nephew, and it was like $14, and I'm thinking I could drive up there better and just put it in the door and then turn around to drive back. But there'd be no point to that. So anyway,
I actually feel a little bad about the cost of shipping on Etsy.
Yeah,
because I have mine set at $3.99 for shipping, and most of the time, and then 50 cents for each item after that till you hit $35, then it's free. But like if I'm shipping to either coast or to Florida, or if it's not Michigan, Iowa, Indiana,
or something like that,
I'm at the $5 mark. So I understand I have to have it at $3.99.
Because it just seems to be way off, and I don't understand what all of a sudden it was sort of like we were discussing. I don't know what it was we were talking about, but all of a sudden it was just like last week it was this much, and this week it's like 6 times the amount. You're over there going,
well,
what?
This Etsy changed probably a year and a half ago. That was the last time the Postal Service did an increase. Yeah, it hasn't changed since then. But I was like, I can't make it more than that. Like, I did have one lady because she bought one Progress Keeper. And so the Progress Keeper itself is like $2.50. I think that was the price at the time. And then she paid $3.99 shipping.
Oh my.
And when she got it, it was bigger or smaller or something than what she was expecting. And she thought, it was just, she sent me an email and said, or she left a comment or something, whatever. And she was like, and the cost of shipping is just ridiculous. And I want to return it. And I was like, absolutely, you can certainly return it. Sure. No problem.
Right.
Just send me the tracking number once you get it in the mail. Right. Because I thought, you know what, you're going to try to ship it to me with, and it's going to be $5.25 for you to ship it back to me.
See, and Maggie still loves hers.
That's good. I'm glad you do.
I do too.
See, Maggie, South Africa, it wasn't that bad to ship to you.
Yeah. Actually, sometimes I think what she's going to do, we may have to look into this. Might be cheaper to send me to deliver it.
Well, yeah.
In some respects, I mean,
if a pound of yarn and some stitch markers, we'll just send her on a cruise.
Okay, here I come. So,
especially if your sister books it.
Oh yeah, especially if my sister books it. If I'm not going to be traveling with her as much right now, I'm going to be like, I'm not so sure about this. Maybe I'll stay stateside and do a few more of these stateside trips, type things that I'm kind of thinking of doing. So I'm looking around because I told Mikey that. I said, I think it's time. I bought a...
Like, go do Yellowstone.
Yeah, go out and do that. Or go up to Montana, just go to Helena or Butte, just go up for a couple, 3 days, see how you like it, get a feel for the area and say, okay, I've been in Montana now, so I know, sort of thing. And the basic things, like just across the border, you can't, not way up, but like, your Ontario's or what's that city just across the border from like you go to Detroit and you go under, I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
But something like that, or in Buffalo, when you go
Yeah.
up to Niagara Falls, go across to Canada and see some of those
Mhm.
areas there, because that's kind of within a shorter distance. You're not paying for, you're not sitting on a plane for 80 days. You're not dying and traveling back and forth. So you're so exhausted when you get home.
Mhm.
And then you can rent a car without having to worry about understanding road signs.
Yeah.
Because I do want to, I would love to go back.
Have you been in all 50 states?
No, New Mexico.
You haven't been in New
I have not been in New Mexico. It's the only state I haven't been in. Either
Really?
stopping with a plane. Now, some of them are from plane stops and not necessarily out and about. But I've been through, and I don't count it if it's just been once. Like I've been through Baltimore. I don't know how many times, but I've been in Maryland. But I mean, I've been through Baltimore. So I would count that because I would go through Baltimore quite a bit. Okay. But New Mexico is the only state that I have not actually physically set my foot in out of all 50. Yeah. I've been to Puerto Rico and Guam. I've been to American Samoa. I've been to more of the territories. But I'm, so those are the things, and I told Mikey, I said, maybe that's what we should start doing. Some of these longer weekend things where we could put the dog in, or drive or fly, or even maybe rent, like fly there and then rent a camper.
Mhm.
One of those, contained campers, so that you
Mhm.
can just go into town and don't have to totally pack up everything, or, do something
Whatever.
like that, or rent a bike, go to these areas that have a lot of the bikes and things like that.
Uh-huh.
So we're thinking about doing a little more of that. So, because he's going to Saddle with me, so that worked out good.
Good.
So we've
Good
got
deal.
that. So
all right. Well, we're going to let you guys go for this week. We'll see you next week
we
because
will
you're
be
still
here and be
You're
ready
still
for
around?
Memorial Day. And oh, I forgot to bring the special thing. I got something at Dollar Tree. So for next week, I'll bring that next week. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we'll see you guys next week. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.